you guys maybe see us making parties now. I'm 30, you're 28. We've been doing this, ParisLatino, since I was 23, you were 21. But a few people know, and I know that a lot of you out there that actually remember this, but when we were 16, I was 16, you was 14.
Yeah.
We rented our first hall and made a party.
Right, we made a party.
So we've been doing parties. We've been gathering people since young age.
Definitely.
And I think that is the one thing that maybe we missed when I was 22, going to 23. We missed the gathering people, synergizing communities, call it in that way. So we start with ParisLatino, and we have this thought of making a great reggaeton party because we're missing this increasing sound. Like, we don't feel that if we went out to the city, you practically, I'm not trying to talk shit to the clubs in this city because they do their thing, but I did not like the music.
Right.
I did not like the environment.
I mean, the story is very long, but if you could like just sum up the years and how we became what we became, how would you like summarize it in 60 seconds?
So two brothers that wanted to create something, they wanted to bring people together. And the way they knew to do that was making parties, because that's the one thing they did when they were young. When they realize how fun and giving it is, and they can see the reaction of the people, they go from gear to gear to gear, and they say, well, you know what, let's give it all, let's create. And I like to use this metaphor that I think, let me put it this way. So we're giving this pot with dirt, and we get a seed, which is ParisLatino. We put it down the earth, put some water and sun and air. That's the work we've been doing, learning all the things we know about marketing, sales, media, production, events, DJing, music. And just day after day, we come to this, we've been blessed to be where we are today. So I would say that how everything from this podcast to the events, to the marketing, to the advertisement, and everything, where everything connects is here between you and me.
Basically, it's because we didn't have any help in the beginning. That's where we had to do everything ourselves.
Exactly.
I mean, we kind of still do everything ourselves, but
we outsource things when we physically cannot maybe be there. Like maybe take it when we're on stage. Then we need people filming. It was a time where I had to film.
And that's the thing I wanna also dive into a little bit, is like you didn't know anything about video or filming until you started doing ParisLatino. I remember you going with a phone and a flashlight and just filming. You didn't have any idea what you were doing. I didn't know shit about DJing. I knew music. I had a lot of playlists, but I was so scared of being a DJ. But how did you, if you can explain people, how did you stumble upon to becoming like the host of ParisLatino? Because you are, when you go on stage with the pink hair and everything, like people get excited, man. The last 2-3 years, like, is when Daniel comes on stage, like people know the energy is coming, or like something huge is gonna happen. How did you embrace that role throughout the years?
Gradually. In the beginning, it was very uncomfortable. I remember the first time I grabbed the mic, it was maybe I think it was the first time with the first part in Gatsby, when I thanked people for coming. Let me put it this way. Sometimes you have to do something and you just do it because it is your job. If you're not doing it, then nobody's going to do it. And then again, within myself, there is... you remember when I was 16 and we did the talent show in the school here. I was talking in front of 1,000 people. Right then and there, it was like, somebody got to do it. Who can do it? I was like, let's go. So that part was maybe... I have never been afraid of talking in public. So like speaking.
Then you are blessed, because I was so scared of that shit.
As long as you know what you're speaking about, of course.
No, even that, like I was afraid of huge crowds.
Yeah, but I think that with age, you take that away.
The first time we did Oslo and Rockefeller, I was pissing myself.
So was I, because that was something new. Like I remember my throat was like shaking when I was gonna say like,
my fingers.
What up, Oslo?
You can hear like all the people out there. It was the first time we had so many people also, and you had to like, because you were used to like saying hosting in Kristiansand. If we go a little bit back to 2022, Kristiansand, we have 400 to 500 people, and there were also people that knew you and you were a little bit comfortable. But all of a sudden, you're in Oslo, 1,200 people, sold out Rockefeller. You don't know anybody of these people. Nobody of them know you, and you have to like. I remember thinking like, is he gonna like maintain the energy as he does in Kristiansand? Like, so I was nervous on your behalf.
Thank you. I don't know where you were more nervous, in Oslo or we were first time in Latin Village.
Oh, yeah, Latin Village.
Because there's one thing that I remember in Rockefeller. It was easier. Bear in mind that this is going to sound weird. It was easier to do what I do in Oslo than doing in Kristiansand. Why? In Kristiansand, I could see people that I've seen in the streets that know me, and
you can get like the high five and everything.
Yeah, but the one thing that I've always been like, I'm not afraid of talking to a big crowd, but of course, what we're afraid of is when you're afraid to embarrass yourself, and sometimes within the podcast here, and I'm aware of this, I can sometimes struggle a little bit when I speak. Like the fluency, and on top of that, you're gonna put the lyrics part, and that was one of my biggest insecurities and struggles here in Kristiansand. When I had the mic and I stood beside you, and I was gonna say like, now this song belongs to this artist, or I was trying to sing with the hook, and I either did not time it or say the wrong word, and I saw people that know Spanish, they're standing in the crowd, that they know me, and they're like, I can hear you're singing wrong, right? But in Oslo, I didn't know. No, I knew nobody there. Right. Like for me, it was very simple. Like if I say something wrong now, I don't know anybody here. So it became really that part was a little bit easier.
Would you say that was like one of your biggest insecurities in ParisLatino, the context?
That one and dancing. So I haven't. Okay, let me unpack this without going so winding.
We can go back to the Oslo thing.
We will come back.
Yeah.
But the dancing part is when I left for the army after my school here, and I'm away 1 year. You started dancing the salsa classes with the Latin boys here. I come back 1 year later. And suddenly you dance like a pro. You dance better today, of course. But then when I saw, I was like, what? But that's true. You were like swinging them and stuff like that. And I was like, shit, my father's and my brother's level now, they're way too advanced. So for me, that part, it took me a lot of time to feel free to like move the body with the rhythm, right? And in ParisLatino, bringing it why it has been an insecurity. In Kristiansand, I could kind of hide behind the booth with you because we play with a little console. So I could stand beside you and just like move a little to the side and just sing along. The first time in Rockefeller, then I have a stage in front of me. And I did not use it that well. If you remember, I was pretty much by your side the whole show.
And